Hey, y'all, hey. Listen. Whew. Wow. This is going to be a tough one, but I want to talk about it. The first time that I realized, well, let me put it to you like this. When I was a teenager and a young adult, and I've said this before, it made no difference of what time of day or what day of the week I went to see my grandparents. They were always watching only a few things on television. It was either the news and very, you know, the local news of the day, not all day. Their game shows, um, baseball, because my grandfather loved baseball, or TBN, the Trinity Broadcasting Network. And of course, as a young adult living your life, you're like, that's boring. But now, as an adult, a seasoned adult, I understand because there's so much that can just really upset you. And if you consume it, it can consume you. Well, then I remember the first time, again, as either a teenager or a young adult. I think I was a teenager. I think the first time I saw a homeless person, and I was on the bus, and I was either on my way home from school or on my way to work or something like that. And I remember seeing it, and I said to myself, and I wrote it because I used to journal and write poetry. I said, I feel everything. And even though I said that, I didn't understand what that meant. I said, I feel everything. So when you care about people, you feel it, even when it's not happening to you. I saw this story, and it broke my heart.
It was so frightening what I went through. And
locked up like a prisoner in her own home. Her jailer, she says her own nephew and his girlfriend. It all started after she allowed them to move into her Harlem apartment a few years ago. At first, things seemed okay. The plan was to have the couple help out with paying bills.
I thought she was a nice person, and we accepted her. But later, after about a year or so, she was still there. She started getting really ugly, and they stopped paying rent.
81-year-old Margie Allen is describing how things quickly changed. The conditions she endured, allegedly at the hands of her own family. For months, she says the couple made it difficult for her to move freely around in her apartment. She says this gate was used to keep her confined.
She put the gate there so that I couldn't go to the bathroom.
And apparently the gate blocked Allen from the kitchen as well. And that's not all.
I couldn't even take a shower.
Allen shows us pictures of what it was like inside her apartment. She says the couple used clutter to block the hallway. That made it hard to leave her apartment on a daily basis. And to top it off, she says there was also verbal abuse.
She was always cursing at me.
Allen remembers one day things got physical.
I was trying to get out of the apartment. He was pushing me back and all. And then by then, that really got upset, That really started scaring me.
At some point, police got involved.
Eventually, the police came from the precinct, 28th precinct. And then they also came, and he finally opened the door. And then they asked him what was the problem. In the process, they took him to jail. And they explained to me, this man is attempting to have you committed.
Committed to a mental institution. With tearful eyes, she tells us the couple had plans to take over her finances and her apartment, and they allegedly went to the extreme. Feeling lost and confused, Allen said she was treated worse than an animal and had no idea what to do.
I was just so fearful. And then it's just so hard. It was just so much. I just hate them. It's just, I was able to reach out to Stephanie.
She turned to Stephanie McGraw, founder of We All Really Matter, or WARM, a community organization that helps domestic violence victims.
At her critical point, this family member wanted the apartment. And so what they did was went to the court and told the court that she was mentally and capable of taking care of herself. They said, oh, we think she's crazy because she is using the bathroom in a bucket. They had her locked in the back. She couldn't get to the bathroom.
McGraw and her team quickly moved in, helped Allen navigate the court system.
We went to family court. We got all protection for Miss Allen, got the nephew and his girlfriend out the house. We also, from that, got Margie grief counseling.
Now Allen says she's free, doing better, and offers this advice to any senior who may fall victim.
You think you can handle it by yourself, but you can't. You have to find people that would help you, as I did.
How could you do that? And again, I don't even know this woman. But my aunt who lives with us is 81. And she works my nerves. She, you know. But the woman that I am, she invested in me. She invested in me. This is what you would do to somebody. I'm willing to bet that invested in you. And that you would just do this to her. I think about my mother. I think about my father. They weren't the best parents. I mean, they made the mistake, is what I mean. But you would make them a prisoner in their own home. And while I'm crying because I briefly worked for Adult Protective Services and I saw some stuff like this. And not children doing it to their aunts or uncles, but children doing it to their grown parents. Children, adult children doing it to their parents. And because the parents may have thought that they weren't the best parents, that they thought they deserved to be treated like dogs. Or they didn't want to admit that they couldn't handle it. So, children having their parents living in squalor, taking advantage of them, taking their homes right from under them. What's wrong with y'all? I think about my grandfather. God rest his soul. I could never imagine. What is wrong with you? That is why God is going to wipe this thing out and start over. Because some of y'all just don't care about nothing and nobody. People that invested in you, people that gave you life, not that they were perfect. Many of the things that I was able to do as a young person and a young adult is because my aunt invested it in us, because my mother didn't have it. It just broke my heart. And to see the pain in this woman's eyes from someone she loved and probably took care of, that would treat her that way. Whew. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Take that with you.